All right, let's dive straight in. We're talking Instagram in 2025 today and getting seen, getting real views on your stuff. It feels tougher than ever, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's like shouting in a hurricane sometimes.
Yeah.
The competition is fierce, trends change overnight, the algorithm keeps shifting. It's a real challenge just to get your content noticed.
Yeah, it really is. And because it's so tough, a lot of people are looking for, a shortcut or maybe just a boost to get things moving.
Understandably so. That initial visibility hurdle is significant.
And actually, our source material for this deep dive gets right into that. It talks about using trusted growth services. Specifically, the analysis we looked at mentions platforms like rapidboost.net.
Okay.
And it presents them as offering, quote, instant reliable boosts for views, followers, likes, that kind of thing. The idea, according to the source, is they use real engagement networks, so supposed real people for safer, steadier growth.
Mm-hmm.
The source frames it as a potential way to, amplify your profile fast, get those initial numbers up, maybe to help unlock more organic expansion later.
Right. So using these services strategically, potentially, to kickstart things.
Exactly. So that's our mission today. We're going deep on accelerating Instagram views in 2025. We'll unpack how these services supposedly work, based on the source.
Look at some real-world examples mentioned.
Yeah, and pull out actionable strategies from the material, all aiming to help you figure out how to approach growth smarter, maybe more sustainably, using the insights provided.
So we'll look at why views are so critical right now, and, based on this source, how you might navigate the different tools and strategies out there.
Okay, let's unpack this. First things first. Why the intense focus on views specifically? Why do they matter so much right now in 2025?
Well, Instagram has made it crystal clear video is king. Reels, stories, video posts, that's what the platform is pushing.
Right.
So views on that video content, that's become a primary signal to the algorithm. Lots of views tells Instagram, hey, people are watching this, and that directly translates into reach.
And reach is the gateway to everything else.
Exactly. Followers, building that community loyalty, driving conversions, whatever your end goal is, reach is the starting point in this algorithmic age.
And the source actually had a stat on this, didn't it, from Instagram itself?
Yeah, 2024 data mentioned in the source, it apparently showed videos getting 38% more engagement than static images.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
a big
38%. Wow. Okay, so the algorithm loves views. But there's more to it, right? The human side.
Definitely. The source calls it the social proof effect. It's psychology, really.
The old bandwagon effect. If lots of people are watching it, it must be good.
Precisely. You see a video with thousands or maybe even millions of views. Your brain instantly gives it more weight, more credibility. It feels more authoritative, or at least popular and worth checking out.
So it influences other users to watch too.
Yes. And that's crucial. That social proof encourages more organic views, more genuine engagement from real people, which in turn signals even more quality and popularity back to the algorithm. It becomes this positive feedback loop.
Okay, so views are way more than just a number. They signal value to both the algorithm and other people, which naturally leads us to these growth services designed to inflate that number. How does the source actually define an Instagram views growth service?
It basically describes them as paid services, often using some level of automation that promise to boost your view count quickly. The main goal is to give your content that immediate shot of visibility, especially if you're just starting or have a key piece of content you really want to push.
And the source mentioned different kinds.
Yeah, it broke them down roughly into automated bots, basically fake accounts just adding view counts, then real engagement networks, these supposedly use networks of actual users, and finally targeted boosts, where they try to deliver views from specific places or people interested in certain things.
Okay.
But the absolute critical point the source makes for 2025 is safety. Any service you consider must comply with Instagram's constantly changing policies, otherwise you risk penalties.
Like getting shadow banned where your stuff just disappears from view?
Exactly that, or worse. So safety and looking authentic to the platform are paramount now. The source also touched on the science behind the spike. How does that initial boost actually work with the algorithm?
Right, the timing aspect.
Yeah. Instagram pays very close attention to how content performs right after you post it, in those first few hours. If a video gets a sudden burst of engagement, views, likes, whatever, early on, the algorithm sees that as a strong signal. Then thinks, wow, this is popular right now.
And then it shows it to more people.
That's the idea. It's more likely to get pushed higher in feeds, maybe land on the Explore page. So a growth service used strategically, tries to tap into that critical early window. Give the content that initial surge to convince the algorithm it's hot, potentially triggering wider organic discovery, maybe even going viral if everything aligns.
Gotcha. Leveraging that early momentum. It's interesting how it tries to play by the platform's own rules, in a way. Now, the source gave a couple of examples, like mini case studies. Tell us about Emily, the travel vlogger.
Right, Emily? Her situation, as presented, is pretty common. She had 2,500 followers making good travel reels, but stuck at around 400 views each. Just couldn't break through.
Frustrating. So what did she do, according to the source?
She decided to try a service described as reputable, one that focused on delivering views gradually and targeting them a bit.
And the outcome?
Pretty dramatic, actually. Within a couple of weeks, her average reel views apparently shot up past 10,000. But crucially, it wasn't just the view number.
Oh, what else?
She gained 1,800 organic followers off the back of that increased visibility. Several reels hit the Explore page. And she apparently got 3 emails about potential brand partnerships.
Wow. Right. Okay. So for her, the source suggests that initial investment provided the social proof and algorithmic kick needed to unlock real, tangible results and opportunities.
That's the takeaway presented, yes.
Yeah.
The paid boosts seem to catalyze organic growth. Then there's a second case, the sustainable skincare startup.
Right. They were launching something new, struggling for visibility.
Yeah.
Exactly. Crowded market. They allocated, I think it was $300, to a premium service that offered region-specific views. Over a month, their average video views apparently jumped from 1,200 to 3,600. More than tripled.
And again, was it just about the views?
No, the effects rippled out. Their overall engagement rate reportedly climbed by 46%. And maybe most importantly for a business, their website traffic coming directly from Instagram went up 28%, and they saw a related increase in sales.
So these examples, as laid out in the source, really seem to highlight how a targeted, maybe modest investment, especially early on, can potentially leverage Instagram's mechanics to create that snowball effect and deliver a real ROI.
That's the argument the source makes, yes.
But, and this is a big but, choosing the right service seems absolutely critical. What criteria does the source say you must look for in 2025 to stay safe and get results? This is super important based on the material.
Yeah.
They really stress these points. First, authenticity. Where are the views coming from? Real users are crucial, not just bots. This matters for safety and for any chance of those views turning into actual engagement down the line.
Okay, real users, not bots. What else?
Second, delivery pace. It needs to look natural. Gradual, timed delivery. 1 million views appearing instantly. That's a huge red flag for Instagram. Mimicking organic growth is key.
Makes sense. Avoid sudden spikes.
Third, targeting. Can you customize? For brands or influencers needing a specific audience, getting views from relevant regions or people with certain interests is way more valuable than random views.
Right, relevant eyeballs.
And fourth, transparency. How does the service work? Is their process clear? Do they have decent privacy policies? Is there actual customer support you can talk to? You need that clarity.
Okay, so authenticity, pacing, targeting, transparency. What about the warning signs? What screams stay away?
The source lists several red flags. Be very wary of dirt cheap prices for massive view counts. That usually means bots or compromised accounts.
If it sounds too good to be true.
It probably is. Also, watch out for non-existent customer support. Really vague explanations of how they get the views, hidden terms and conditions, no refunds. Basically, a lack of openness. Choosing badly isn't just wasting money. It could genuinely hurt your account.
Yeah, not worth the risk. Okay, so a good service might provide that initial spark, but the source was really clear this isn't a substitute for doing the actual work, right?
Absolutely not. The source hammers this home. A service might launch your content, give it that initial push, but for real, sustained success. You have to combine it with strong organic strategies. It's about building something real, not just inflating numbers temporarily.
Okay, so let's talk about those essential organic strategies that need to go hand in hand with any paid boost. What did the source highlight?
Well, number one, fundamental stuff. Optimize your actual content.
Yeah.
Captivating thumbnails, killer hooks in the first second.
Grab them immediately.
Yeah. Bold visuals, text overlays that make people curious, maybe ask a question, shock them a little. Anything to stop the scroll. That first impression is everything.
Totally. What else on the organic side?
Smart hashtags and geotags. Don't just use the massive oversaturated ones. Research hashtags specific to your niche. And always tag your location. It's simple, but helps you show up in local searches and feeds.
Consistency and timing, too. I assume they're still vital.
Oh, absolutely Posting regularly builds expectation and helps the algorithm categorize you. And timing. Use your Instagram Insights to see when your audience is most active. Posting then can boost impressions significantly, the source mentioned up to 27%.
That's a big potential lift just from timing. What about working with others? Collaborations?
Hugely important now. Partnering with other creators, people whose audiences align with yours. Doing things like duets, shout-outs, collaborative reels. The algorithm seems to really reward that cross-pollination. It boosts visibility for both of you.
Makes sense. And when people do engage?
You have to engage back. Respond to comments, answer DMs quickly, pin top comments, use those little reaction features. It shows you're building a community, not just broadcasting. The algorithm likes that, and so do real people.
And finally, the loop. Analyze, adapt, repeat.
Constantly. Dive into your insights, what's working, look at reach, impressions, but also things like video completion rates or people watching all the way through. And saves. Saves are a powerful signal to Instagram that your content is valuable. Learn from the data, see what resonates, and do more of that. Iterate, iterate, iterate.
That's a solid list of organic tactics. Okay, so how does the source tie this all together? It proposed a kind of framework, right? A 6-step plan.
Yeah, it laid it out as an actionable approach for trying to accelerate growth in 2025. Let's run through it. 1, set clear goals. What do you actually want to achieve? Is it just views or followers, brand deals, website traffic? You need a specific, measurable target.
Know your destination. Makes sense.
2, choose the right content. Look at your insights. What formats does your audience respond to? Focus your energy there, especially on video formats that Instagram is prioritizing.
Play to your strengths and the platform's preferences.
3, optimize your first impression. Your profile itself. Bio, highlights, the grid. Make sure it instantly shows off your best stuff. Visitors decide in seconds whether to flit up.
Polish the shop window. Got it.
4, engage a growth service if it fits your strategy and if you choose wisely based on those criteria we discussed. Authenticity, pacing, targeting, transparency. The source suggests starting modestly maybe and watching closely. Does it lead to real engagement increases, not just views?
So use it as a calculated experiment almost.
Kind of, yeah. Then 5, layer on organic tactics. This is key. Don't just buy views and sit back. You need to actively pair any boost with all those organic strategies. Great content, smart timing, hashtags, collabs, engaging with your community.
The boost is the fuel, but organic is the engine.
Good analogy. And finally, 6, review, adapt, scale. After a campaign or using a service, look at the results. Did the views translate into your goals? If yes, maybe you scale up carefully or reinvest. If not, maybe that service wasn't right, or maybe you need to work harder on the organic side. It's a continuous learning process.
That framework really puts the pieces together, treats the paid service as just one tool in the toolbox, used strategically alongside everything else.
Exactly. It's not about replacing the hard work. It's about potentially amplifying it at the right moment.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive. Instagram in 2025, definitely fast-paced, definitely competitive, but views, they're clearly more than just numbers on a screen. They act as a catalyst for reach, for social proof, for algorithmic favor, and hopefully for genuine growth.
And the takeaway from the source seems to be that a proven growth service, chosen carefully for safety and authenticity, can be a legitimate tool to gain that initial momentum. But, and it's a big but, only if it's part of a larger strategy that includes strong, consistent organic content and real community engagement.
Right. It's about being smart, investing in what looks authentic, finding that synergy between paid and organic, and just constantly learning and adapting to what works for your audience on the platform now. Views might open the door, but they don't build the house.
Well said. The potential is there for you to get seen. Hopefully, these insights from the source give you a more strategic way to think about accelerating your growth.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on based on everything we've discussed from the source. How do you strike that perfect balance? How do you leverage the potential momentum from an external service while simultaneously building a truly resilient, adaptable, organic strategy that keeps delivering results long after the initial boost fades? That's the tightrope walk for creators and brands in 2025.